And now to the assessment form 1 here, and we go through that. We use the same procedure here. And it's the evaluation of right and area self-rating profile, the WASSP. And the publishers are Winslow Press Limited in the UK. And the date of publication is in 2000. The cost for the full test record sheet, what I got here during the autumn 2010, was £20. And the construct measured no calculation for statistical analysis performed for measure of central tendency. The purpose of the test. The purpose of the right and area self-rating profile, the WASSP, is of recording how a person who stutters perceives his or her stutter at the beginning and at the end of a block of speech and language therapy. And the age range is adults over 18 years. And now to the psychometric rating, the validity. Concurrent and predictive validity, see above. Reliability, the test-retest reliability and intertester reliability, see above. And now to the sample. A sample of 32 adults who stutter recruited from self-help groups throughout England and area, and there are no reports of distribution within age span. And the score is 1 to 7. Where 1 indicates none, no problem, and 7 very severe problems. So it follows the standards of psychometric testing within medical disciplines, where you have a low score is no problem, or the highest score the worse the problems. And now to the administration. The materials needed is the WASSP, the whole package, including the manual, and WASSP rating sheet and WASSP summary profile. The WASSP rating sheet and summary profile has to be translated to the target language, in this case Swedish, and the Swedish version is used with clients. And now to the basal. Please note that this term is not mentioned in the English-Swedish dictionary for statistic use. And here I would have preferred a more explaining words or easier terms such as lowest score. In this case, the term is interpreted as lowest possible score, and this is answered with reservation to wrong interpretation of statistic term in English. The WASSP, the rating sheet. The stuttering behaviors includes 9 items. The thoughts about stuttering, 3 items. The feelings about stuttering, 6 items. The avoidance due to stuttering, 4 items. The disadvantage due to stuttering, 4 items. In all, 26 items. And they are marked on a 7-point scale, where none is 1, no problem. And the basal here I counted to 26 points. Now to the ceiling. Please note that this term is not mentioned in English-Swedish dictionary for statistic use. We would prefer more explaining words or easier terms such as highest score. In this case, the term is interpreted as highest possible score to receive within the assessment testing. Answers with reservation to wrong interpretation of statistic terms in English is the following. You had the rating sheet, you had the stuttering behaviors, 9 items, thoughts about stuttering, 3 items, feelings about stuttering, 6 items, avoidance due to stuttering 4 items, and the disadvantage due to stuttering 4 items. In all 26 items. And on a 7-point scale, 7 very severe problems. The ceiling is counted to 182 points. The time taken for is 12 minutes approximately for completing the rating sheet. The time 1 and another 12 for time 2. And another 40 minutes to complete the summary profile together with comments and discussions with clients and the results for future needs. And that was about 40 minutes. Now to the score types. The WASSP, as previously noticed, 1 to 7, 1 no problems, 7 very severe problems. Scores in comparison between time and time 2. Now to the caveats or cave eats. I would have preferred more explaining words or easier term, for instance, such as critics or objections against test procedure. In this case, the term is interpreted as objection against test procedure or test construction. And my answer is with reservation to wrong interpretation of scientific term in English. You should be cautious to put forward caveats or caveats protests against an instrument by first sight. You have to give the assessment battery a fair chance by using it regularly or as a part of a scientific project before this. However, what is generally concluded by statisticians is that scales with even numbers are to prefer before odd numbers, and that is 6-point or 8-point scales instead of 7-point scales. This to give the respondent alternatives that are on the plus or on the minus part of the scale. And that provides more clear responses generally, avoiding the trap of respondents that are insecure but answers to the questions anyway with the alternative in the middle, and that is interpreting it as a neutral answer. This was a procedure we use in construction of tests within the framework of clinical test constructions within research in audiology. And there are 2 thesis projects and 1 development project, and the references are on the prosody.net. Another serious concern with WASSP is whether it serves as an instrument to measure what it intends to measure. From the manual, here is a quotation. These results demonstrate extremely good reliability of scoring. The participants scoring high or low at one time are also likely to score high or low at the other 2 times, demonstrating that each subscale produces consistent results. But if reliable over time, same tendency of scoring, does WASSP really measure change over time, or is this consistency demonstrating little or no changes pre-post therapy, little or no therapy results? For test-retest reliability, a control group of people who do not stutter or people who stutter at waiting list should have been appropriate. And here my interpretation is that the people that were in this project were undergone some kind of therapy between time 1, time 2 and time 3. If they weren't, it could have been possible, as you know, that they were a group that were not under therapy. But these things are not clearly indicated in the manual, so it's a question about this. Comments on suitability for your client population. In this particular case, concerning an adult with problems due to stuttering, it seems at first sight to be a good instrument for measuring tendencies of change of parameters within therapy. However, there are some serious concerns within the statistic design, and that is a lack of controls, lack of descriptive statistics, as well as consistent reliability results pre-post therapy measures for an assessment profile intended to measure change over time within therapy. A statistic design with control groups of non-stutterers or people who stutter at the waiting list would have been appropriate. The authors claims that WASSP should be the one and only evaluation instrument for measuring stuttering behaviors, thoughts, avoidances of stutter, describing change over time. However, there are other instruments well described in literature as well as used on a regular clinical basis. For instance, the Perceptional Stuttering Inventory, the PSI, the Erickson S24 scale, and the Lanyon SS scale. And that I'm very used to use those assessment protocols.